My name is Yufeng, I'm a technologist. Let's find some random things on the street with full text search, like these one-way signs. So I'll do a live demo right now. I built this little search engine thing based on street views in Brooklyn, New York. And I have some keywords prepared, and feel free to shout out some keywords that you want to see on the street. This is hot sauce. In Brooklyn, if you search hot sauce, you get hot sauce. If you search breakfast, you're gonna find some deli, diner, organic restaurant, burgers, smoothies, fresh juices, breakfast. If you search customers only, you're gonna find parkings, bathrooms, that's for customers only. Any keywords from the crowd? What is that? Psychic. Wait. We have psychic readings. Okay. So how did I do it? Let me get back to full screen. So in Brooklyn, there are 75,000 one-way signs. Here are a few of them. In Brooklyn, there are 3,500 love found, mostly in Popeye's marketing materials. In Brooklyn, there are 51 matches for best pizza, many of the same stores. How did I do this? It's an intersection of all the things that I'm interested in. Shortly after I realized I can download all the street views from Google with a hidden API thing that they had to open to the public because everyone can access Google Street View. I immediately downloaded 300,000 Street View around where I live, which is Brooklyn. Each spot is in 5 meters away from each other, and I just sample all the latitude and longitude in Brooklyn. How? It's this GitHub repo that I'm not going to disclose because I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, it's a few Google search away from getting it. And I think it's fair use Google, but just in case, I'm not talking about how I download it. But extracting tags from street views is the main part. So if you download it, if you get a street view, the typical resolution is going to be 16K by 8K, which is fairly large, and you would think that, yeah, just run an OCR will be enough. But no, first because OCR is pretty slow on image of this size, and second, there are distortions on the text that are closer to the pole, top and down. And how I did it, I take multiple photos, each one of 45 degrees field of view, and then I take 16. I have some overlap between them, so the panning interval is 22.5. So 16 photos of each, and I have a 2,000 pixel by 2,000 pixel for each one. Overlapping is because this case, the Broadway sign is cut between the two street view photos, and if you don't have something in between, you're gonna end up with the Broad and a Dway. And because I'm oversampling, I have a Broadway right in the middle. And from the plain photo OCR result to the text Broadway and the bounding box in the plain image unit is XY with height, but it doesn't work if you want to pinpoint the text on a sphere. So with some trigonometry and camera math, you can figure out where the yaw pitch, the width and height in degree on the sphere the text bounding box is on. So overlap is crucial for preserving the whole phrases, but what about the duplications you get? Because now you have Broad, you have Dway, you have Broadway. I'm still working on this. Duplication remove is a lengthy process. It's a complicated one. I'm using geospatial tools just because I'm lazy on the math. I feed this into GeoPandas on Python and feeding the OCR result as if they are regions on the Earth and let it figure out how much they overlap with each other. And also taking into account of the text distance between each other and finding among a similar text cluster, what's the longest one? I'll take that as the right result. But this is still in progress, so you will see a lot of duplications on the actual websites. So with 300,000 street views, a month of nonstop compute on my personal MacBook, because the OCR engine I chose for this task is actually the Mac built-in OCR, which is really good for how fast it is and how accessible it is if you have a Mac. And I ended up with 7 million OCR results, and all on all text plural.nyc. Let's find some random things. I have a few interesting ones prepared for you. This is if you search fuck, you get fuck this bullshit and fuck Putin on the right one. And along that line, free Palestine signs on these two. There are a lot of writings that you can recognize and will be otherwise impossible to search on the internet, on the street. And you can search it with this search engine. If you search for sale, this might be a good use case for buying something. If you search lost dog and lost cat, you will find a few posters. I hope they're found by now. If you search happiness, yeah, you can find happiness on alltext.nyc. If you want to find happiness, you gotta, well, the data set I acquire show a strong correlation between the Rita ice cream store and happiness. So maybe that's the way to go. If you want free stuff, search free. You get free soap at this laundromat at Flatbush, and you get free, well, 99 cents budget parking if you have a car in New York. And you can also find Jesus. This is Jesus' billboard. Behind is the Brooklyn skyline, pretty iconic view, and also Jesus love you on the garbage. So this is the word cloud of all the OCR results. Not surprisingly, you see a lot of one-ways and a lot of stops. New York exit, parking, speed. 30 a.m., 10 a.m. is also quite common. And the Google is from the almost translucent watermark that Google add on to the Street View. So this is a distribution of a few keywords. First, we start with one way. It's more in the most populated areas in Brooklyn. If you search Delhi, Sunset Park, show a hike. If you search love, Williamsburg, probably because the gentrified storefront like to say love on their marketing materials. Distribution of love is such a playful concept, so I also build like a physical installation as if I'm tracking down on an investigation board where these are. So I printed too many of these photos. If you want one, get one. These says love in the center of these photos. If you want to find best pizza, there are a few best pizza spots. We need a taste test. Because it's New York, the best bagels is really deep in Brooklyn. Like you need to go really far to get best bagels. And in general, best things in Brooklyn are in these spots. And guess what? They're Best Buys. One of them is permanently closed. So I'm not the only one who thought of OCRing Street View data to map the urban landscape. USC has a lab called Spatial Analysis Lab, SLAB. They have an amazing project called Ethnicity, which maps a lot of street signs in multiple languages in the LA County. Slab.today/cultural map, you will be able to see interactive map that shows you different ethnicity groups on the LA County. So future plan, scan the whole city. I'm gonna finish it sometime. And I'll have some built-in visualization tools, so stay tuned. All text, plural.nyc. And maybe you can make your own after this talk, as long as you can get those images in legal ways, of course. So let's find some random things in full text search. Just go to this website, find something. I have my social on the landing page of this website, so feel free to add me on Instagram if you found some weird things. Thank you.